A game that is really close to my heart, that I really love to play, is called the Grizzled. A little cooperative game. In the original game, it's for 2 to 5 players. If you don't know anything about this game, then you should check out some other videos about this great little game. In this video, I will take a look at the Grizzled at Your Orders, which is an expansion. It plays from 1 to 5 players. It takes about 30 minutes to play. Let's take a look at how this game is played. And here we have the content of the game. We have 6 cutouts, 1 of each Grizzled. And we have 39 mission cards. There are 13 of each, easy, normal and hard. Then we have a last stand card, and on the other side, final assault card. And then we have 4 support tokens. These will only be used in the solo mode. And then we have a hard knock, the novice, and this card will only be used in a 2-player game, presenting a 3rd player, which the mission leader will control in each round. The inside of the box has this cool image of all our Grizzleds. Each player will receive a cutout, and when you're playing the game, you will put him next to the no man's land, so you'll know who is active in the game. And when you withdraw, you will take him back, and when you take him back, you will set him upon your hard knocks, so you know they are inactive. So you'll always have an overview of who is still active in the game and who has withdrawn. The mission cards and the general rules are the same for 2 to 5 players. There's only a little bit of difference when you're playing with 2 players. The solo mode is played in a whole different way. I will at the end of the video also explain the solo rules. So for now I will remove these. And I will also explain how this one is used if you will play as 2 players. Now, what is new? What does this bring to the game? The new thing at Your Orders is these mission cards. At the start of the game, you have to choose your difficulty level, and you can choose the classes, the Grizzled or the Veteran. It's recommended that you will start with the classes, where you can learn how this game is played, and then you can advance when you get better. And in the classes, you would take 4 easy and 8 normal cards, so you wouldn't use the hard mission cards. Each mission card has a name, a penalty or bonus. In the easy cards, it's normally something that will help you. And on the normal cards, it's not good for you, and in the hard cards, it gets even worse. If we take this one over here, the good luck charms may remove 2 cards of the corresponding type. So it's a good thing. This will help us. But this card over here, at the end of the mission, support tokens are not given and have no effect. So in this case, we wouldn't get any support, even though we managed to give a person support. And this hard knock card all counts as a winter card when it's in play, so we can only have 1 more winter card in play. To get rid of this card again, when a person withdraws, you have to draw 2 cards to your hand. When the leader wants to decide how many cards to deal out, he has to deal at least 3 cards if you play 2 or 3 players. If you play 4 or 5 players, he has as a minimum to deal out 2 cards to each player. And here it's always 2 cards to each player. So the mission card dictates how many cards you as a minimum have to deal out when you are the mission leader. Now here we have the game set up for 3 players. We have our 12 mission cards, we have the last stand card, otherwise the game is set up as usual, and we have our 3 Grizzleds in no man's land. So they are all active in the game. The mission leader will start with drawing 2 mission cards. And here we have an easy card and a hard card. This mission cannot fail because of the knight, so we can play as many knight cards as we want and it won't fail our mission. If we play 2 or 3 players, we will have to deal out at least 3 cards to each player. We can give more if we want to. 4 to 5 players, we would have to give 2 cards. If we choose this one, then all players would have to turn around their Lucky Charm. And it's not a good card to get at the start where we all have a Lucky Charm token. I cannot speak about these cards with the other players. I have to choose one and I cannot say which the other ones is that will come up next. But I think the leader has to choose one of the cards, and he will choose this one where we are immune for the night. But the card he doesn't choose, it goes back on top of the mission stack. So the next leader that draws missions, he will get this card plus another card. So you don't get rid of them. They will just be stacked on top of the deck for the next leader. And the mission leader, he will take the card stack and deal out 3 cards to each player. So that's the first thing in the preparation that is different. The mission leader can, instead of choosing one of the 2 mission cards, he can choose this last card stand. This one you might choose as a last desperate action. If you can see we're close to, we cannot make the game, then you can choose a last stand where, for example, there have to be 4 of the same kind of threat before it will be activated. Or you can choose a final assault. And in both cases you will have to distribute all cards to all the players. And there will be no moral drop, and you cannot use strategical withdrawal. So if you can, at the end of the round, can get rid of all the cards, then you have semi kind of won the game, but not in the best way. In the action phase you can make a strategical withdrawal. The first player who withdraws can use this action. And this action takes place before any effect of hard knocks or mission cards. So in this case I could say, if no other player had withdrawn, I could say I would like to withdraw, make a strategical withdrawal. So I wouldn't have to play this card, and I could then put 1 card on top of the trial deck. We have endless speeches, so if you make a speech, the token will still remain in the game. When you get support, you can always reactivate your Lucky Charm and remove up to 2 hard knocks. Even if you receive a support after a failed mission, you would be able to reactivate your Good Luck Charm and remove 1 hard knock. When the moral drops, there is an upper limit of 6 cards to be put into the trial deck. Even though players, they may have more cards in their hands. If you have hard knock cards that make the moral drop more, then you would have to still put these cards in the moral drop. So you could get over 6. But from what the players have in their hand, then you have a max of 6 cards. And that is the rules for this expansion. You will play like you normally do and try to get rid of all the cards, so you will have the peace bird showing and no player have any cards in their hand. When you are playing the game with 2 players, then you have to set up a 3rd player, the novice. He will always have this hard knock card on him. He can never become the mission leader, and speeches have no effect on him. And this card cannot be discarded, so he will always have this hard knock card. The current mission leader will control the novice. He will decide which action he should take, and his cards, they are placed face up. So both players can see which cards he has, but only the leader can decide what he wants to do in the novice turn. He cannot consult with the other player about how to control him or which actions he takes with the novice. When the leader withdraws the novice, then he will randomly choose a support tile and place it face up, so the players know where his support goes. You might want to withdraw him first, so you know which Grizzled will receive his support. When you play only 2 players, then there is no strategical withdrawal, so you cannot use that action. And when the mission leader goes to the next player, then he will control the novice. Otherwise, as a 2-player, you will play just the same as with 3 or 5 players. When you play solo, then you will play with the standard Grizzled rules. And you will not be using speeches. You will use these 4 support tiles that comes with the expansion. You have these different support tiles. This one indicates that the third Grizzled, he would get support. There's no support. The middle Grizzled would get support, and the first Grizzled over here would get support. So out of the 4 tiles, there is one that does not give any support. And when they have all been used, you will shuffle them and put them over here again. These hard knock cards will not be used in the solo mode, so remove them from the game. Set up the game as normally. And you have these 3 Grizzles. You can choose which ones you want to play with. And you will make one of the Grizzled the mission leader. He will be the active player. Each time you have made an action on a player, the mission leader will go to the next player, and then you can make actions on him. You can play cards, use his lucky charm, or you can withdraw him by turning his card like this. You will, at the start of a mission, you will draw 3 cards. You will always start with 3 cards in your hand, unless there aren't enough out here. And you will take action on the active Grizzle. You can either play a card or use his lucky charm or turn his card around. So I could play this card. And when you have played a card, you have to decide if you want to draw a card from the trial deck to have 3 cards in your hand again, or if you want to proceed with the cards you have. And each time a player has had a turn, you will move the Grizzled. So the next Grizzled is the active player, and I would draw another card. The first time I pass and do not draw a card, I cannot later draw cards. Let's say we played this card on him, and he moved over here, and I drew another card, and I could play this on him. He would go over here, and he might play this card, turn a trap, and then I didn't draw a card the last turn. I can't draw any cards now. And then it will go over here, and let's say he could play this card. Then this player would withdraw, this player would withdraw, and this player would withdraw. When all players have withdrawn, then we will draw a support tile. And in this case, he gets support over here, the third player, the third Grizzled, and he can remove his hard knock card. If he had used his lucky charm, I cannot turn this around and remove the card. It's because in the solo version we are playing with the basic rules, so I can't do both. In this case I might want to remove that one from the game. At the moral drop we would always take 2 cards plus the cards we have in our hand, and in this case, because of this one, we would have to draw 1 more card. So I will take 2 cards plus 1 card here, and I didn't have any cards in my hand, so that wouldn't add any more cards in the moral drop to the trial. And then I would draw up to 3 cards again in my hand. And then I will start a new mission round. And I will complete this until I won the game or I lost. So in the solo version of the game, you always start your turn with 3 cards in your hand. Let's take a look at how the game is played. I have set it up ready to play for 3 players. And I have chosen the medium difficulty level. So we have 4 easy, 4 normal and 4 hard mission cards. And Gustav, he will start. He's the mission leader, so he will draw 2 mission cards. And we got small fort and take cover. Here we have a shell, and here we have a knight. And to get rid of the small fort, a player that withdraws would have to draw 2 cards from the trial deck to get rid of this card. I think because it's a start, I will take the hard card. So we'll put this one down, and he would have to deal at least 2 cards to each player. I think he will give each player 3 cards. It's the start of the game. We have all our lucky charm. What can go wrong? And he will start. Franchised. At the beginning of the mission, you must draw 2 extra cards. And we have one with a trap. Oh, and there's already a knight out, so this could actually, if I played this card and a knight card came out, then our mission would fail. So I don't think he will play this card. I think he will play this one. We can get rid of that card with our lucky charm. And he also have one with a trap, and we already have a shell out here. Ooh, I think he will just play this one with the window and the whistle. He can remove this card. No, he cannot, but he would be able to remove the card. And what do we have? Phobia for whistles. Absent-minded. He would have to remove one of his support tokens from the game. And we have rain and the whistle. I think he will play this card. Oh, wait a minute. I think he will actually use his lucky charm and remove this card. Back to Gustav. And I think he will play franchised on himself. And what he will play? Oh, he could play this card now, because there isn't any shell anymore, so we'll play this card. And he's prideful. You may withdraw only if your hand is empty or if you're the last one still in the mission. Whoa, and we have a whistle and a shell, so he will hope that no one will play that, or he could remove this card, of course. Now, what will he play? I think he will play absent-minded and wait on what Charles has to do, because he has to play this card, unless he of course made a strategical withdrawal. But only the first player who withdraws can do that. And I don't think he wants to play this card, so he will make a withdrawal. He will make a strategical withdrawal, I think. Or will he? He could also use his lucky charm to remove this one. So there will be a better chance that he can play his card without making our mission to fail, because he has to play his card or make a strategical withdrawal, of course. So I think he will use his lucky charm and remove this winter card. Now Charles, he has to play his card and use his lucky charm. He can play this card now, so he will play this card. He could also have removed this card from the game, but I think he will play safe and play this card. Now we only have one whistle and one rain card, so he can play his whistle, or he can play this whistle card. I think he will play this card. And he will definitely not play this card, because then we would fail with 3 shells. I think he will make a strategical withdrawal. So he will put this card on top of the stack and withdraw. And you can do that before any effect of the mission card or the hard knock cards you have. Now he will also withdraw and And he will take 2 cards to resolve this one when he withdraws. Oh, I have to give his, I forgot Gustav. He should give his support to one of the others. I think he will give his support to Gaston. He has 2 rights. There. And then he will withdraw and resolve this one, so he will take 2 cards. And he will give his support to Gaston because we don't want to lose all our support tokens. So he will give his support to the left. And we have him back. And he cannot play this card on himself because there are 2 whistles out here. So he will also withdraw. And he will give his support to... Oh, I think he will give it over here. Or maybe he should go to the left. I think he will put it over to Gustav, so we still have a choice next time to who he wants to give support. Now we resolve this one, so we will remove this mission. And these off. And let's see who is getting support. This went this way, and that way, and this way. So Gaston, he got support, so I can remove my hard knock card and I can reactivate my lucky charm. Then we have moral drop and we have 3 cards. So we will put 3 cards over here. And the mission leader passes to Charles and he will get a speech token. Oh, what was it he had here? At the beginning of a mission, he must have 2 cards, so he will receive 2 extra cards. Yes, and Charles, he was prideful. He cannot withdraw as long as he has any cards in his hand. Alrighty. So Charles, he will draw 2 cards. And then he would have to choose which mission he thinks they should take. I think he will take the normal one this time. They both count as a shell. And this one player would have to draw 3 cards from the trial deck when they withdraw to get rid of this card. So I think he will leave that one and take this one. And then he would deal out 2 cards to each player. And remember, when you are playing this extension, then there are endless speeches. They are not removed from the game. So in the next round here, Charles, he would have to deal out at least 2 cards to each player. He could choose to deal out 3, but I think he would just deal out 2 cards because they already have 3 cards in their hands. And this was a look into how the expansion to the Grizzled was played. I hope you got a good idea of how these expansions they work. If you already have the Grizzled, then I think you would also enjoy this expansion. It gives you a lot of new ways to play the game, and you can make it even harder for yourself and your group when you are playing this game. I really enjoyed this expansion as well as I enjoy the original game. So if you have the Grizzled and you really enjoy that game, then you should really strongly consider getting this expansion as well.